welcome to Minnesota Homeownership Center's Welcome Home podcast. My name is Bill Gray, and today we're going to dig into the findings of the 2022 State of Hispanic Homeownership Report from the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, or NAHREP. Joining me today are two officials from NAHREP's Twin Cities Chapter, Adriana Martinez, a Realtor and President of the chapter this year, and Joannette Cintron, Community Development VP with Old National Bank. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you bet. Thank you. I want to get started by giving you both a chance to tell us about the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals and its Twin Cities chapter. What does NAHREP do, and why do you both see it as important enough to be involved with in a leadership capacity?
Well, NAHREP is the national association, and it stands for National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. And NAHREP Twin Cities is our local chapter. What we do is we are the voice of the real estate in Minnesota and national. And we have the mission of advanced sustainable Hispanic homeownership. We are the champions of homeownership. We do this through three things. One is educating and empowering the real estate professionals. And also we advocate for public policy. And we have three main areas, which is housing inventory, which is the access to credit, and immigration.
Okay.
And the one way to do this is through events. We have several events during the year. We have 4 local events. One just passed the 30th of April, which was the installation gala. And that was a huge event. We had 250 people. It was really nice. We have a second one on July 1st. No, I'm sorry, July 13th is going to be July 13th. And that is our business rally. And we have 2 additional ones that are educational. And one is going to be, we haven't determined the exact date, but one is going to be in October. The other one is going to be in December.
Okay.
And besides that, we have, we are starting just this week with an open forum for an event or a meeting with all the members. We want the members to participate in the meeting and to share ideas, goals, and expectations for the chapter. And at the same time, the chapter wants to offer services and valuable resources. And we want to let them know the status and the current status of the projects that we have, the events that we are having during the year, and the events that we are going to have nationally as well.
Okay.
We have a national big event, which is Latitude, and everybody should assist to this one. It's a really, really good event. It is good for the business, the Latino business, that are growing and that are having a place in the market sector. So in the market sector. So I think it's a very nice, nice event. At the same time, it offers to all the members to all the tools needed for them to grow their business, to create wealth, and to create their market share, and also to create a capital, how do you call it? Capital venture capital. Yes. So that's why it's more than an event. It's a kind of not a mission, but a movement. I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So, and aimed at realtors and real estate professionals.
Yes.
From across the board.
It's all the real estate industry.
Yeah.
Latitude has realtors, has lenders, has even medics there. So it's really, really impressive. Really, last year we had 7,000 members.
Oh, wow.
And this year we are aiming to have 10,000.
Okay. Well, very cool. I want to dig into the report as well, because there are so many good statistics in this. So there we go. The NAHREP report it's my observation that it's probably one of the most filled with statistics of the big three, NAHREP, and ARIA. And there's so many statistics in this report. And so I want to dig into that a little bit. Here's a few of them that I found informative. So there are 62.6 million Hispanics in the United States today, and that makes up 18.9% of our total population. 68.1% of these folks were U.S. born. And then here in Minnesota, Hispanics make up 5.6% of the population. The second thing I noticed in the homeownership arena, Hispanic ownership weighs in at 56.6%. And that's in Minnesota here. Nationally, that figure is 48.6%. The third point, Hispanic homebuyers had a median age of 30 compared to a median age of 38 for all homebuyers, and that's nationwide. Mm-hmm. And then finally, 39% of non-owner Hispanics were mortgage ready in 2022, and that is really important. Also, Hispanics are projected to account for 70% of all homeownership growth over the next 20 years. Now, that 70%, that just blew me away. How does that prediction compare to your own experience? And I guess I'll ask you, Adriana, you're a realtor. How does that compare with your experience working on the front lines?
Very true. Just in the last years, I have had more Hispanic clients than non-Hispanic. And it's not only for the Spanish. They are growing. There's a population that is really growing. Of course, when they see probably my name or so, probably they reach out to me. But mainly is because the population is growing. We have a great pool of millennials and also the Gen Z that are our next market, and they are really growing. Is probably 10 years ago, I was trying to translate every single word of the contracts. Right now, most of the clients are born here.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. All of them speak English, yes.
Yeah. That's this reminds me of something. So I redid our website recently, and we have landing pages in Spanish, Somali, and Hmong language. And that's another thing we're talking about is even with the Hmong population, it's been a generation now, and there's less of a need for that language translation. The Somali's still there, but anyways, I just think that is fascinating. When you talk about the typical Hispanic home buyer, probably a first-time buyer, what are they looking for? How does that sometimes differ from a white household or some other household? Because I think there are differences.
Oh, yes. And I think the main differences is not color or height or anything like that. The main difference is the culture, because not even the language. All of them speak English and speak way much better English than me. English is not a barrier anymore. What is interesting is the culture of Hispanics. When they look for a house, they look for a multi-generational home. And that is a bigger home. That is with more rooms, that is with more everything. And that is because they live with the parents and sometimes with their grandparents as well. And when they go to choose a house, it is funny, probably the first time only the one guy and the wife go and see a house. The second time they see the house, they bring the auntie, the uncle, the grandpa, everybody, all the children. And it's just a house where you have to keep a good control of it, because otherwise they are running all around. But it's very nice, and it's part of our culture. It's always being the family circle is very, very close. And it's like a tribe. They communicate all decisions between all of them. And
in Spanish.
In Spanish, yes. Okay, that is when it comes to Spanish, because what happens is that the parents are the ones that don't speak very good English. So the children are communicating everything with the realtor. And the parents are kind of taking decisions for them if it is convenient for them. If they still take care of the children at that time. So even if they are 30 or 40.
Yeah.
So it is funny.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to talk to you, Joannette, too, about the finances involved here. So another stat that stood out for me in this report is based on median household income and median home price. So that's not average. That's like if you take all of them, this is the one that falls in the middle. If you kind of count this way. So median income, median home price. They say the Twin Cities Metro is the 6th most affordable market in the country for prospective Hispanic homebuyers. Sounds like a great situation to be in, Joannette. I know home process and mortgage interest rates, home prices, typo, and mortgage interest rates are high right now. So how is this playing out in the realm of the mortgage lending?
Yeah. So I would say is the higher interest rate has created a pause in the market, slowing it down a little bit. And it has its good and bad things, right? One of the good things is that it has made competition. Now I would say we'll use the word easier, but a little less competition, or perhaps the borrowers that maybe 6 months, a year ago even.
Sure.
There was multiple offers on a property, and perhaps sometimes even people offering to buy for way more than it was listed for and worth. So now that the market has changed and slowed down a little bit because of the interest rates and inventory, right? Because we also have a lack of inventory. It has made it more competitive. Those offers to be likely to be accepted than it was about a year ago.
Okay. So silver lining, I guess, for the market. There's opportunity now because there's not as much competition. And check my logic on this, Joannette. When I think about, mortgage rate a year and a half ago, 3%, mortgage rate now, I don't know, 6% at least. That really, that's a lot more, and it reduces your purchase power. However, if someone was getting into first-time home buyer with a 6% mortgage, they need to remember they don't need to keep that mortgage for the rest of their 30 years. They can refinance later. They can, there's a million different things that can happen. They need to be able to be sustainable with that 6%. But there's opportunity for, I don't know, advancement, maybe, whatever you want to call it, moving up later on when things probably kind of settle down a little bit. Is my logic good there, or would you say maybe not?
Yeah, I agree with that logic. And also, in the Hispanic community, we're not always interest rate focused. We are total payment focused. And as long as we feel confident that we're able to make those payments, we still consider to buying the house now. We don't wait for interest rates to go down.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. It's very important for the Hispanics. I think we were taught at home, back at home, that having a property is one of the main things for wealth.
Right, wealth building.
Although even when most of the people are not financially literal, I think they have that pride of having a home.
Yeah.
And that pride is overpowering no matter what.
Okay.
So they do all the possible to be able to buy a house. If they can afford it, they will go. They don't look at the rate.
Okay.
They just look of if they can afford month by month payment.
Yeah.
And they go for it.
Very good point. All right.
Another thing I think too that it might influence that is that compared to the country that we may come from, 6 to 7% is very low.
Okay.
Which is still a reasonable rate.
Yeah.
That is correct. In our countries, sometimes it has hit 20%, 22% or more, and that has been kind of the normal. Right now it's a little bit lower because the coin is a little bit different now. The dollar, unfortunately for America, is a little bit less now, so they can afford a little bit more, and the rates are not too high but they are higher than here, much
Right.
higher.
Well,
Yes.
and time marches forward. So, I mean, you can't wait forever. So, okay. Joannette, another stat for you. I read that Hispanic borrowers were 66% more likely to be denied conventional financing than non-Hispanics. What should we make of that?
Unfortunately, yes, this is true. And I would say one of the two drivers for that is one is credit and lack of trust, right? So when we look at credit, it's not necessarily bad credit, is the lack of understanding of how credit works in the United States and how the credit rating system works. And sometimes also not understanding how impactful it can be to have active trade lines on your credit report with an active payment history.
Yeah.
We tend to pay a lot of things cash. And due to again the lack of trust in the banking system and such, and so is building that credit so we're able to use it as an asset, perhaps being able to have more loan program options when considering buying a home.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the main reasons, and also in a situation where you're using the lowest down payment required by that loan program, it tends to kick you out of the conventional automated approvals.
Right.
So the combination of both. So that's why I always mention when I'm participating in the Minnesota Homeownership Home Stretch workshops to learn what that means to build that credit by not only having casual conversations with your family, compadres, co-workers, and friends, but getting out there and getting informed with working with nonprofits and other professionals in the industry of how you can begin building your credit without getting in debt, because they're two different things, right? They don't mean the same.
Right.
So I would say that would be one of the main reasons.
Okay.
The lack of understanding of how credit works and how to establish it here.
And the importance of getting mortgage ready before you apply.
I agree. And mortgage ready means that higher credit score. So it gives you more loan program options compared to in our countries. It's about how much money you have available.
Okay. Yeah, I know that the credit system here is extremely different from other places. That's really interesting. So the Home Ownership Center, of course, we offer the education, but we also offer, and you guys know this, but for our listeners and viewers, we also offer the home ownership advising, and that is free for anyone in Minnesota. And what they do with that is they get you mortgage ready or give you a map anyways. And so they'll pull your credit, soft pull, so it doesn't affect your credit. They'll, look at your budget, show you what's going on, show you what you can and can't afford and that kind of stuff. And the importance of doing that before you just go and apply for a mortgage, that's very important, right? If you apply for a mortgage and you're denied, that actually makes it less likely, at least for a little while, that you'll be approved anytime soon. Is that true or is that not true? I guess where I'm coming from is if I apply for something and I get denied, that goes on my record, and that's not a good thing.
But so if you're not approved for a certain credit, that doesn't show up on your credit report. What shows up on your credit report is the amount of credit inquiries that if you do.
Okay.
So if you have too many credit inquiries, that could lower your credit score.
Okay.
But if you have no credit, which in many situations is the case in the Hispanic community, then it doesn't. And it's also educating the industry, right? That piece that we like to, that one of the missions for NAHREP is to educate real estate professionals on the needs and the cultural distinctions of Hispanics, right? To understand that we we don't have traditional trade lines, but we do pay our rent on time.
Mm-hmm.
We do make child care payments
Yeah.
on time, utility bills on time. So how do we incorporate that into a credit system that we're able to demonstrate that we have the ability and the discipline to
Right.
make our payments?
And more lenders are starting to do that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but it needs to be more of a thing.
Yeah, it needs to be more mainstream.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
And
I agree.
that is why NAHREP comes as a very important
Yeah.
piece, because the communication between the lender and the realtor is vital.
Right.
And also for the realtor to know the different products in the market.
Mhm.
It might be one bank might not be
Right.
the right thing for your client, but another bank might have the right tool.
Right.
So you have to learn to
Yeah.
see these tools and to advise your client on the different tools that are around.
Right.
And I think many of us real estate agents need to know more about these tools, need
Yeah.
more ourselves. I mean, as realtors, not only the
Right.
community, we need the financial literacy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally.
Oh, uh-huh.
So the communication now and the network that we have with the lenders and other professionals in the real estate industry is really crucial.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, very good. Well, so I always ask this last question, and the weather is starting to get warmer. Finally, it's almost July? No, it's May, but it feels like it should be July. But anyways, home buying season is approaching. We've got a realtor and a lender sitting here with all the real world expertise that entails. Question, of course, is this the year to buy your first home?
I would say yes. The year to buy your first
Totally.
home is when you're ready to buy,
Mhm.
regardless of market conditions, regardless of the interest rate and such. So get ready, be ready, get informed. And now with social media, it's a little bit easier to get information or know where to go get information. I mean, just to put in a quick plug, we are doing our second annual homeownership fair.
Yes.
That is being hosted by all the 4 affinity groups
Mhm.
in the Twin Cities, including NAHREP. And it's going to be an all-day event on May 20th from
Mhm.
9 to 2.
Yep. I think it's not. Is it 9 to 3 or 9 to 2?
Possibly.
But anyways, I know because
It
we're
starts at 9.
it starts at 9.
Yes.
We're doing education classes, Homeownership 101 in English and Spanish and Hmong and Somali.
Free food. So join
free
us.
food.
Please join us. All of us real estate professionals are coming together, collaborating to bring this information out to you.
Yeah. We'll have those classes at 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock. And then during the rest of the fair, you'll get to walk around and talk to people like Joannette and Adriana. It's going to be good. And where is that? That's it.
It's in
the New
Brooklyn.
Millennium Academy in Brooklyn.
Correct.
It's Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center? I always forget.
And another quick plug, because
Yes.
I know my community, right? We're going to be having soccer clinics for the kids. So
Nice.
you are able to bring the kids with you. We'll keep them, give them some fun entertainment, playing soccer, and come and join us.
Very
You
cool.
can ask any questions you have for real estate. If you have any doubt about your lending process, come and let us know. If you have any doubt on how the process on getting a house, come and
Come and learn.
Come and learn. And you were asking if it was the best time to buy a house.
Mhm.
It is always the best time, because if you continue renting,
Right.
you are making the wealth of that person that is your landlord.
Uh-huh.
If you buy a house, the sooner you can buy a house, the
Right.
sooner you are working for yourself, not for
Right.
the landlord.
Right.
Mhm.
And even if home prices are stagnant, which they're absolutely not these days, you're still building that wealth. Every month you own a little bit more of that house.
Correct.
So yeah, and again, tons of educational opportunity here. Learn how the process works. Learn how your particular financial situation can be leveraged into getting you mortgage ready, and then decide if you want to do it or not. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. But at least then you get to make an informed decision.
Ask questions.
Yeah,
Never
ask questions.
have the doubt. Ask questions. And it can be Joannette, it can be me, we're going to be a ton of realtors there, a ton of lenders. So ask questions. always always ask whatever
Yeah.
you need to know, and
Yeah.
never keep the doubt.
Oh, I
Never.
love it.
Mhm.
Love
And
it.
if you're already a homeowner and you would like to learn how to become a landlord,
There
stop
you go.
That's another thing. Yes.
All right. I think that does it for this episode. If you are interested in exploring homeownership for your own household, you can take a home buying class and enlist the help of a home ownership advisor for free by going to our website, hocmn.org. Our advisors and educators are embedded in organizations across the state, and they'll work with you to help get you mortgage ready, educate you on the buying process from A to Z, and walk with you through every step of the process. I want to thank our guests today, Adriana Martinez and Joannette Cintron. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate
it
it.
was fun. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Great. In closing, I want to acknowledge our sponsors, Associated Bank, Bremer Bank, Midwest One Bank, and Old National Bank. Our sincere thanks to each of these organizations for their support. Thanks for watching and listening.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.